Hi, welcome to another episode of Talk with Confidence. This is where we have inspirational conversations with inspirational people. Today I have a truly inspiring guest in studio with us. His name is Mr. Wayne Chauke. Mr. Chauke, welcome.
Mr. Kwan, thanks for inviting me.
Wonderful, man. It's good to have you here.
No, it's good to be here, man.
Yeah.
I was particularly very excited when I got the call.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, in fact, it's my first interview, so yeah.
Is it?
I'm a bit nervous, but excited.
No, wonderful, man.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So you're an investment analyst and you're a social entrepreneur.
Yes.
But before we get into that, can you just tell us a little bit about Wayne, where Wayne comes from, family environment, etc.?
Oh, okay. I come from a village called Mukomi in Limpopo.
Yes, sir.
It's a typical village, but I got the opportunity, like a grand opportunity to go to a private school. I think it was one of the best back in the day. It was an academy. I started there. I attended it from grade 1 to 12.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was a boarding school, so you get to learn a lot about life and yourself as a person.
Yeah.
And it was for me it was a great experience because I went there as a kid. I was in grade 1.
Yeah.
And my mom just threw me. And then I studied all the way to grade 12. After grade 12. I went to apply to the University of Johannesburg. So yeah, I'm a huge alumni. I went there to study economics and econometrics. And I only graduated in 2015.
All right.
Yeah, 2015. So.
In terms of your passions growing up, what were you passionate about?
I've always been, from a young age, particularly passionate about helping people. Yeah, I try to see the best in people. I once had a quote, I think it was good, or some wise guy.
Yeah.
He once said that don't look at a person as he is, always look at a person as what you could be. And for me, that's something that really sat with me. From a young age, I always try to see the best in people. I don't care, what society may say.
Yeah.
But I'm a believer in people, and it's always been my passion. And that also led into me, going into leadership. I think leadership was the first, thing I was exposed to. Since I was in the leadership camp in when I went to grade 11. So it's sort of like gelled well, with my passion for people.
Yeah. So around grade 11, grade 12, you were in the leadership caucus of the school.
Yeah.
I understand you were leading the leaders there.
Yes. So yeah, from the environment that I came, I came from, boarding school. I wasn't the smartest of the guys, in the A team, in the A class. But I like to believe I had a thing with people. I love engaging with people, trying to find out more what they do, and see how I can connect with people.
Yeah.
But what I realized the trend, in my high school.
Yeah.
The guys, the leaders, guys were in the leadership. Were always, very smart people. Yeah. and I made a decision to actually challenge the status quo. And then that's when I challenged to run for leadership with, a lot of smart kids.
Yeah.
Little did I know that I'd go on and be, the head boy.
Yeah.
It was a great experience for me because when you're a head boy, you not only lead, your other student stuff, but you also lead leaders. Yeah, and when you have a bunch of leaders with different characters, it's always a challenge to just drive them in one, vision. Yeah. But that's what was my first exposure to leadership.
What did being in that position teach you as you reflect back on it?
Yeah, it taught me many things. One is I didn't know I could actually lead people. I like to believe.
Yeah, it's like you don't know you can swim until they put you in the deep end.
Exactly. And when you go through that journey, you're learning a lot of stuff. I remember when I I started, campaigning. If I can. I did it the streetwise way. I'd go to people during lunch breaks, try to get this vote out of those people, and you learn a lot because it's like you're selling yourself, and that's where you learn to be humble as well.
Yeah, true.
People don't have to vote for you as a leader. You need to have something, to sell or something they see in you. And for me, I learned I learned that leadership is what you learn when you start working on it. I don't believe there's a textbook for that. You learn leadership by doing
it. I love it.
New challenges every day. So
I love it. And then you mentioned that you went to UJ.
Yes.
How long were you there for?
I was there from 2012 to 2015. Roughly 4 years. I did my degree in economics and econometrics, and then afterwards I went to do part-time in honors, which I'm yet to finish off this in 2019. So,
wonderful, wonderful. I mean, coming from a quote-unquote sheltered environment where you're in a boarding school and teachers are running up to you to do your homework, and transitioning from that environment to an environment where you are by many definitions an adult. There's nobody chasing after you. You decide, am I going to go to class today? Am I going to study today? What was that transition like?
For me, it was very challenging. It was very challenging because when you're in a boarding school, right, like you mentioned, someone is always, after you. But as much as I learned discipline in boarding school, when I came to Joburg, I remember I stayed in Bloemfontein. It was a bit challenging because now you have all this time in the world, and in your mind you think what you're gonna learn. Same thing as Grithofen is the total opposite. My brother Errol always tells me that varsity is not for the smart, it's for the it's for the hard workers. And I think I didn't know that, and I actually did bad in my first year. First year, I think I almost got chucked out of the varsity.
Is it? and
execution.
Is it? Yeah. And I mean, bouncing back from that, so you're on the brink. You're on the brink of failing the first year.
So what UJ does, I'm sure a lot of people who went to UJ know this. So your first semester, you need to pass at least 60% of the modules that you pass. And I think I passed 2 out of 5.
Wow.
That's not a 60%.
That's not 60%.
But I stopped 1.
And
then I ended up, But after that year, man, I was like, nah, man, it was a challenge for me. But I'm not a quit. I was like, nah, I'm gonna challenge myself to bounce back. So ever since first year went through, I tried to come back second semester, but the other year, I think it was 2013, I was like, nah, you know what? I have to do this. I need to challenge myself. And for me, it was about a comeback. I'm gonna do this degree. I'm gonna finish it. So ever since that second year, I never failed. Any module until I graduated.
Wow, that's beautiful.
In the year 2015. So that was my.
your header. We all have headers, my brother. I've been speaking to guys who are maybe guys and girls who are at an institution. And they're facing different challenges. I mean, some are financial challenges, some are challenges pertaining to freedom, because freedom in itself can become a burden if you don't know how to handle freedom. What would you say, what advice would you give to young people who are in varsity and they've got their own headers? Maybe they're not the same headers as you had, but they've got other headers. What would you say to those people?
I would advise to be open about your challenges. Be open about your challenges. They always say that if when you have a mentor or someone who guides you, it's sort of like you're able to get through a lot of challenges quicker. They say mentorship accelerates development. So challenges that you would have for 3 months, if you have a mentor, you can actually deal with them in 3 weeks. Or 3 days. So I believe in an open dialogue when you have challenges. Have someone to talk to, even if it's your mother at home, that uncle or that cousin or that pastor. I think it's always helpful because they give you sort of like a different perspective about things. Because I learned that when you have challenges, you sort of like in your own zone. You just go in your own path, and you don't want sometimes you're ashamed that people would know that you're struggling, you know, that type of challenge. But for me, communicating, surrounding yourself with proper friends, it's helpful. I had a you know, a bunch of good friends who would motivate me, not laugh at me. With delight.
I mean, that's a good point, because sometimes the challenges that young people face, especially in the arena of the tertiary environment, even high school, is when you've surrounded yourself with people who are going in a wayward way. I mean, if you and I are working on a journey, it means we are going in the same direction. But it's not always easy to let go of such friends, you know, because people, especially young people, tend to seek communities to belong to, a sense of belonging. What would you say to that person that says, I hear you, but these friends, these quote unquote bad friends, I feel like a sense of belonging when I'm with them. Even though we go and smoke this and this thing once in a while, or every day, or whatever it is, it gives me a sense of belonging. What would you say to that person?
For me, you know, iron sharpens iron. You know? If you you know, hang around with people who do stuff, you know, that you don't want to do, or that don't, you know, and if you hang around with people who are going in a certain direction that you are not going, I believe strongly that, you know, every person has a dream, but I think where we lack education is that there is, you know, a lot of factors that you need to consider to get where you want to go, and environment is the first principle. If you, I mean, you are an author, I'm sure you know about this principle. If you plant a seed, you know, where the soil is not right, there's no way, even if there's sun, even if you water that, you know, plant, there's no way, you know, that seed is going to grow up to, you know, and maybe this fruitful tree, you know, that you want to. So, you know, if you have bad friends, I think it's a temporary thing. But if you wanna go the long range, the long mile, the long term, you need to cut some people off. Otherwise, you'll never see the promised land. I promise.
You'll be second 40 years in the desert. Oh, awesome, man. So. Moving from the tertiary environment, UJ, being a student, into the corporate world, another transition. How was that transition like?
It was very tough. I won't lie. You know, I actually called my cousin, you know, I think last year when I started with this professional thing, working thing. And I was like, you guys, you know, my cousin Timothy, like, you guys don't tell us that growing up is hard. It's like they just throw you in this frying pan. Adulting is very hard, because you realize that, look, man, you're on your own now. You've got your own budgets, you've got your own planning, own decisions that you need to make, where, you know, previously, you know, varsity days, you would have your moms, you know, telling you not to do this, your brothers, sending you money when you're broke. Now it's, you know, it's about, you know what, you need to manage yourself. You need to manage yourself. And when you go into, you know, the corporate space, everything is still new to you, you know. Suddenly you can afford this expensive restaurant. And if you spend recklessly, you know, you won't have, you know, money by the last, 2 weeks of the month. So I think the, you know, the financial aspect is for me, it was the main thing, you know. You need to be disciplined. You need to be disciplined, save your money, budget, those type of things. Because when you're broke, you're on your own. And you can't constantly, you know, use your credit card for, you know, everything. You need to use a credit card smart. And no one can bail you out because people are busy.
They're also adulting.
The economy, those are adulting. Everyone is busy. They have plans for their own money. So, you know, people are not going to bail you out all the time. So for me, financial aspect was the big one. And also, emotionally, you need to grow thick skin in the space. You're no longer a kid, you must pull up your socks and whatever. And when you want to do something, you must really go for it because there's no time to waste. And money.
And in terms of the working environment itself, so the corporate environment can be cold at times, especially in the financial sector where everything is about the bottom line. It's about results. What are some of the dynamics? I mean, also working with a diverse caliber of people.
Yeah.
Some are, Fortune 500 CEOs. Some are entry level. Some are middle managers.
Yeah.
Those dynamics. How did you handle encountering those types of dynamics?
Yeah. So before I got hired, because I've been wanting to go into that space. But and this is not to to brag or anything, but I felt like I was ready. I've been preparing myself.
Wow, nice.
I've been preparing myself. I only graduated 2015, but only got my first job May 2016. So that 5 months I was preparing myself.
And what were you doing to prepare?
I was just, for example, this might sound crazy, but I'd go in front of the mirror, practice interviews.
Wow.
Confidence. I always told myself when I go into that space, I'm going to wear a tie every day.
Yeah.
And I remember they used to laugh at me.
Yeah.
The guys I worked with.
Yeah.
Because I didn't start in the space that I am now.
Oh.
But I started, broker support.
Yeah.
Clients calling you on a Tuesday. That type
You were
of.
that guy.
But I felt like I was ready, and I understood one thing, that I'm gonna work with new people, people with different beliefs, cultural beliefs, religion as well. That's important.
Yeah.
So, for example, you learn stuff like soft issues, man. You cannot just discuss religion and politics, for example. Yeah.
Because it may be red buttons.
It's red buttons.
And that could make people clash.
Yeah.
Within the work environment.
Yeah. And if you don't understand those things, for you it will be okay, I'm just raising a topic. But political affiliations, religions can be quite sensitive as well.
Yeah.
So you can step on the wrong toes sometimes, and you don't want to be on that side. So and also the understanding the emotional, understanding emotional intelligence, in terms of understanding that, as much as you're in the space, people still, demand respect, for example.
Yeah.
People still want you to be humble, irregardless. And by people, I mean the very same people that you work with. Because those are the people that are either going to promote you
or
demote you. And not in the exact sense, but, being in an environment where you can grow, you need people to back you up and to help you. You will always need people.
Yeah.
And for me, those are the small things that you always, that I learned immediately when I got there. Yeah. So for me that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I mean, you currently work for Stanley, I understand.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's one of the big firms within the financial sector. What do you do on a day-to-day? For somebody who doesn't understand, what does Wayne do?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with what the business does. So Stanley Asset Management is an asset management. So what we do is we manage people's money. It will be investments. As a retail person, if you want to grow your investments, instead of taking to a normal commercial bank, you bring it to us as a retail investor. We also manage for institutional investors, big corporates, state-owned parastatals, and private banks. And by investing, I mean, the pension funds, the provident funds. I mean, those are the products that we offer. So for a normal business or an average business or a company that come and invest with us, so they would give us millions or billions to manage them, to beat inflation, and even just to grow it, capital growth, and income. So that's what the business does. So what I do is I work in the head of investments office. We've got a great team. So what we do is we monitor and we guide, our investment teams. So we Stanley Asset Management functions in what they call a franchise, model. So whatever asset class has a team. For example, equities would have its own team. Listed property would have its own team. Multi-asset, fixed income, and all those things. And as a head of investments, to make sure that the guys actually perform and do what they're paid for, to actually produce results and protect clients' money. So what I do on a day-to-day basis is I actually do the numbers, performance numbers, see what this, especially core retail funds. I mean, you can't look at all the funds that we manage, but we have core retail funds, and those are the stuff that I scrutinize or look at. If there's any flagging thing, if this fund is not doing well, actually raise it in to my bosses to say, guys, we look at risk as well of those funds. We look at portfolio constructions at a high level. We have technical guys who actually do the numbers. And also we do research. We do research. For example, we do research on what is the difference between a balanced fund and an absolute, fund. For someone who's in the space, it's a simple question, but when you really start dipping and diving into it, you understand that it's a whole different maximum drawdown. And it's those researches. The latest one, AI. Everyone is doing research on that. Artificial intelligence, ESG, environmental, social governance. We have a situation where a company will just, for example, fudge numbers, accountants, and all those kind of stuff, and that affects the stock price. And if it affects the stock price, it affects the funds, because we've bought that stock, we've invested in our fund, and if that stock price goes down, some we need to hold some people accountable for that. Researching that,
in the environment, it can be a very volatile environment. The likes of Steinhoff.
Steinhoff.
What then does one do in a situation like that, where perhaps as an asset management company, there's investment that you put into a company like that, and then it comes out that there was corruption, there was creative accounting. Creative. So what then is the recourse for people such as yourself?
So what we do is because the company is listed, under the JC regulations and FSB, now it's FSCA, Financial Services Conduct Authority. So of course they will be liable, and since we lost a lot of money, billions, as an asset manager, you have to sue them. We invested, let's say, 2% in your fund that is worth $1 billion, for example, and you lose that money, let's say 40-60%. Now someone has to recover that money, because we didn't lose the money because of how the markets reacted or from our investment strategy. So we lost the money because this guy fudged the numbers. And we go into litigations, take legal actions. To hopefully recoup the money.
Recoup the money, Wow. As a young person also, being in an environment where you are helping to manage billions, potentially even trillions, that responsibility, does it weigh heavy on you?
Not really. Because remember, I have a boss.
So the weight is on you.
The weight is on you. I just carry the smaller details. But the risk is one of those guys.
Is it an environment in which you want to grow in, to the point where you are perhaps a CEO of a large asset management company, or even running your own asset management company? Are you looking into those things in the future, or what is your vision?
So I want to be, as much as I'm in the investment space, but I want to be someone who actually runs the business. And I had a conversation with my boss, I think about early this year. So if you want to be in management and leading, the business and all that, because in essence that's what our head of investments, do. We mobilizing, we facilitate. And I was like, no, I want to be in this way. I want to, drive, this business one day. And it was like, as much as you want to do that, but you need to be a specialist first, because if you're not a specialist in any field, I guess, people know that and they take advantage of you. Imagine trying to manage people who manage money and you've never run a portfolio.
Yeah.
You know, you are at deficit already. You know, you need to do that thing. And that's why now I'm aspiring to be a listed property analyst, something I'm very passionate about.
Wow.
And, you know, the guys have given me an opportunity to pursue it while I do my job, but on the side.
Oh.
That's why I leave at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. every day.
Yeah.
But it's what I do. So if I specialize in that thing, let's say I do it for 5, 6, 7 years, it's sort of like put you at a position to actually go and push your management or leadership roles that you want to pursue.
Wow.
So, but to answer your question, yes, I wanna be a CEO one day.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Of which company I don't know, but
no, I see you doing it, man. You have everything it takes. I see you doing it.
There you go.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go into the social entrepreneurship aspect of your life. I see you're wearing a lovely shirt there.
Yeah.
If you can just remove so that they can the gospel treat, TGT, music, poetry, motivational talk. What is the gospel treat?
So the gospel treat is a movement that we started last year. So we do annual events. But essentially the event on the night is like self-explanatory. We do music, poetry, and motivational talk. But motivational talk is big for us because, you know, it aligns exactly with our vision for the movement. The gospel tree's vision is to impact people's lives in all aspects. So we're talking spiritually, we're talking emotionally, we're talking academic as well. Because we believe, you know, you as much as you want to help people, but you gotta, you know, go for all the spheres in a person's life. You can't push only emotional, you know, guidance or whatever, and then you neglect the development side in terms of academics. So we believe in touching all those stuff. So
holistic approach.
Holistic approach. That's a proper holistic approach. And, you know, for us, we wanted to do it in Limpopo because we felt like there was a need, especially in my village, Mukomi village. There is a need for the gospel treat. So if you look at the different, spheres that I've spoken about, a lot of people, first time they see the gospel treat, they're like, oh, is it another church? We're like, no, we're not another church. Although we do church stuff, but we're not another church. So what we do is the gospel treat, we do a gospel event because we believe in order to grow the spiritual, sphere of, or aspect of a person, we need to do them closer to that. So I'm a born-again Christian. I believe, the Lord Jesus Christ died for my sins. I'm a born-again Christian and I grew up in a family, in a church, gospel, Christian environment. So it was, embedded in my spirit. So I decided, no, we're gonna create this movement, and this movement is gonna touch, church, because for me, or how I grew up, I understood what church can do to a person's life. It's transforming, and for me, I was like, if I can do an event that actually draws people to Christ, for me, it's number one, in doing the spiritual journey. And last year, what we did, last year was our first event. What we did is also there's an altar call that we do.
Wow.
We need to make sure that people are actually, saved. That is one aspect. Also, educational, aspect. We try to call motivational speakers. So what we do is we brief them as well to say, look, man, the gospel treat is about developing people. Already we have one in spiritual development, but also want to do educational one. So we have guys coming through to come and talk about education. Last year we had one of the guys we had was Mbonima Kubele and Dilad Mshabina. Those are graduates from UJ. One is both of them civil engineer and software engineer. So we had them to come and share, what their thoughts on education. And also we have other speakers who talk on leadership and entrepreneurship and academics. So it's a like you said, it's a holistic approach for the gospel treat. Even if I don't touch your life, but I'll touch your neighbor, your neighbor's life. You know what I mean? And for us, it's about taking our youth and just embarking with them on this journey. The proceeds, that we get from the gospel treat, we Last year we couldn't because we made losses. This year hopefully we make some, we're profitable. But what we do is the money that we get, the proceeds that we get from the organization, we identify a school, buy them school shoes or stationery or bags. I understand it's a government and they give those things, but I'm from the village. I know that shoes or books or even trousers to wear to school is still an issue, and those are the social aspects that we're looking at to address. We don't have millions yet, but where we can, we as the gospel trade want to contribute to our community, and in that way, hopefully over 4 or 5 years, our dream is to see this thing growing and becoming big, and our vision for 10 years going forward is to see this our gospel trade running as a multi-million rand company, self-sustainable, and actually impacting life, going into those villages, building schools. That's our dream. Going to those villages, funding churches to help with, spiritual growth for our people. Because you can help a person, in education and funding and everything, but if the emotional aspect or spiritual aspect lacking, so we want to feed to that as well. Our dream is to hire social workers to work with our communities. Our dream is to build a school one day, who will teach, and grow leaders. Our dream as the gospel trade is to develop talent as well. Because as much as the gospel trade is for the community, it also, like I said, we develop, but the artists that we hire or call to come and perform, actually local artists. We only have one big artist that's on TV just to bring in the crowds. But we have local artists that we're really developing and pushing. And we saying, come in and let's hear your songs, man. As much as
giving them the platform.
Giving the platform. There are no platforms at home. There are no platforms. And what we're looking at is to get, in partnership with people who are doing the same initiatives, even if it's something different like sports. If Confidence Dilemma, wants to contribute to sports talent, we want to partner with those people as well, because we understand the bigger picture is not about us. It's about the movement. It's about reaching out to people. I always tell people, I'm like, the gospel trade has got nothing to do with Wayne. I just facilitate. We take this budget, we put it there. I can't even play guitar, but we have guys who actually play guitars and sing and do poetry. I mean, last year we had a blast. I mean, it was great. Of course, from the review that we get, and we want to improve every year. Hopefully next year, we're praying for funding. If we can get funding, I mean, it would be. This year we're relying on donations. Let's say Confidence, if there's a young 100K, we accept this. But the more money we have, the more we can push this dream.
Wonderful. I mean, in terms of the challenges, you've done one event, and it sounds like it's going to be an annual event. So what are the major challenges that you encountered in organizing, in actually setting up, etc., all the logistical hurdles that you had to face?
One of the, and this is actually funny, but one of the challenges is that you have this vision, you have this dream that you want to do, but come the day of the event, what actually transpires, not what you had in mind. And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship or starting something. But I understood one thing, that if I don't start last year, I would never start. I would be procrastinating and everything. But the challenge that we've encountered was actually mobilizing people, trying to get them to understand what this is about, you know what I mean? So we've been, myself and my team, at home. I'm sure, hopefully they watch this. I've, guys like Bright, saying Chauke is my cousin, what happened to my cousin. We have guys like Magundweni. Those are the guys who actually help me push. I mean, you can't pull off a project like this alone. So I'm talking about going to shopping centers, putting posters, talking to managers. I remember we spoke to a manager from ShopRite, Mr. Ben. I like to call him. So he actually gave us a platform. No, advertise your posters on the ShopRite, those sliding doors.
Yeah.
People working there,
They said, wow.
Oh, what is this thing? And we have our phone numbers, we have our pages and all those type of things. And for me, I'm saying it's a challenge because it gets you out of your comfort zone. I mean, we went to taxi ranks, spoke to people, put flyers all over the place, door to door. We would do crusades where if we hear there's a crusade somewhere or conference, we'd go there wearing t-shirts.
Hijack the event.
Hijack the event. Ask for a slot. And we always read. We always have our banners. We always have all these type of things, in the book of our God. And for me, I'm saying this was a challenge because it was the first time I do it. Yeah, but I was like, nah. I mean, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well just give it 100%. Those are the challenges. You work with a lot of people, different people, and even if you don't know some people, the other guys who actually help you. I mean, you get help from people that you don't even know. Yeah, and sometimes you don't know that they help you. So besides the financial challenge, I mean, that was one of the, for me, I learned a lot, not only about business and managing money, people, resources, but also as a person. You learn, oh wow, man, I need people, to work with, and you need to be.
It's a big vision, man, and it's very inspiring as well. If people have that 100K, or they've got resources that they'd like to contribute to the vision, where can they get hold of you? Where, if I'm looking for the Gospel Treat, where should I go?
So we have, social platforms. We're on Facebook at the Gospel Treat. We're on Twitter at the Gospel Treat, and Instagram on the at the Gospel Treat as well. That's where you'll see our swag, I like to call it, our movement. I mean, we take pics every day when we upload and all those type of stuff. But we're still working on the website. Things are not cheap, but we're working on it. But our social spaces is where you can actually get us, and on WhatsApp 0744153605. It's my personal number. You can hook me up. You don't want to be sending me an inbox on Facebook. If you're investing 100K, can actually go on my mobile.
Okay, wonderful. Wayne, this has been inspiring, man. And this year's Gospel Treat, where will it be? What's the date? Have you finalized those details, or should people follow you to get those details? Yeah,
we will always put them on social media, but we have finalized it. We're having an event on the 28th of December. We're always strategic because between Christmas and New Year, we all know all the people with money are back in the village. And it's a busy time. It's so we do it on the 28th of December. We do it in a venue called Healing Center Ministries. It's a church actually in Mukomi village. I mean, it's a village. If you go there and ask, they will tell you.
You'll know exactly what
They say when you're in a village, don't ask a navigator. Ask the guy in the street because they know. So and it's only starting at 5 p.m. and by 5 p.m. we mean 5 p.m. And also, if you look into to get our merchandise, we'll have the merchandise on the day. We sell white, tees. We sell black. We sell gray. Today we're going to get the gray colors. We also sell sweaters, $350 and $120. The money is used to feed the organization or to fund the organization. And tickets are available at $60.
Where can people get them?
People can get them on our social pages. You can touch base with us, inbox us, or we will have our number phones as well there. Not only mine, but the people I work with as well. $60 general and $120 VIP, and our VIP is VIP.
What's that fake VIP?
It's not very
VVIP.
VVIP. We've partnered with another local business called Turkish Divines. Turkish Divines.
So that they'll be accommodating the VIPs.
The VIP.
VVIP.
VVIP. So we'll be selling the merchandise there, and we will have a ball. This is going to be great. We've learned what to do and what not to do, and we're excited about this.
Mr. Chauke, inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for this opportunity, man. I call you my leader, you know that. I've read all your books. You're an inspiration to myself as a person.
Thank you.
I mean, I sit down and look at you guys, look at what you guys are doing, writing books, authors. That's the dream. And always, people always look out for the Will Smiths and the Denzel Washingtons to look up to. I look up to you guys because you are the guys in my proximity, the guys. This guy was actually my head boy. That's why I wanted to be head boy. So you guys are game changers. You guys are perception shifters, I call you.
Thank you so much.
You know, and for me, I'm really inspired by what you do, the work that you do, because I know it's from the heart. And every time you engage with me, you only speak positives. And although I don't write long SMSs to thank you, but I really appreciate you. You guys are my leaders. So yeah, thanks a lot for this opportunity.
Thank you, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
No,
all the best. You're
No,
gonna
all
go
the
far,
best.
man. You're gonna go far. You're gonna do well.
Yeah.
God be with you.
No, thank
God
you.
is with you.
It's okay. Thanks a lot. And I know you want to wrap up, but before you wrap up, I want to give you this T-shirt.
Oh wow! Thank you so much.
This gentleman was actually supposed to speak in our event this year, but he couldn't. He's very busy. But hopefully in the coming years, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I believe in the vision,
Yeah.
and definitely I'm gonna contribute to the vision.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
Thank you, leader.
I appreciate it.
Hey,
The Gospel Street appreciates it.
Thank you, sir. Wow, that was inspirational. That was Talk with Confidence with our guest, Mr. Wayne Chauke. Attend the gospel treat happening on the 28th of December at Makumi Village.
Yeah.
And you can follow them on all their social platforms. Engage with them, and if you'd like to contribute. This is a vision worth contributing to. Thank you so much.